Welcome to This Week There's a Book in My Nook, and my first book this week is Road Rash by Mark Huntley Parsons. I really enjoyed this book, and it was a total different premise than what a lot of books are about. This is about a guy, he's like 16, his name is Zach, and he's in a band called the Sock Monkeys. And it is a band with his friends, basically. Well, all of a sudden they give him the boot. He's the drummer, and they give him the boot, and to find out it's because they found this other drummer who is not better than him, but his dad has a lot of money and he owns a recording studio, and they can get to use all this equipment and stuff for free if they let this other kid drum. So Zach's totally left in the lurch, and he's really hurt because his best friend stayed in that band and didn't leave with him when this happened. Well, he's approached by another band, actually, that is an older band and far more successful than the Sock Monkeys. And their drummer has been MIA for a while, let's put it that way, and they ask if he wants to go on the road with them. So they're all older, they're like in their 20s, and here's Zach, and he's 17. His parents say no. He finally persuades them to let him go on this road trip with them. And this is about life on the road with a band. How they go from place to place. Some places are good, others not so much. The jealousy between the band members, the competitiveness. I found it very interesting. And you don't really think about some of the conditions they have to deal with, people trying to steal their equipment. Some places are supposed to be comped for food when they get there. There is no food. The conditions that they have to stay in are horrible. And then sometimes they get to places and they play like a mixture of kind of like pop, I wouldn't say pop, kind of like rock, I guess you would say, and new age. And they go to this one place and nobody told them that they don't like that kind of music. They're supposed to play a certain type of more like retro music, and they have to suddenly totally do a whole new playlist within a few hours of different music, or they're going to lose that gig. So it's really interesting. He also starts developing feelings for one of his best friend that was in the old band, his sister. And he never really thought of her like that before. He'd always thought of her as like the kid sister, but she was one who stuck up for him when he got kicked out of the band and thought it was awful and has stayed in communication with him. There's just a lot of twists, a lot of different things, and if you really like music, it talks a lot about different musicians and songs, and I found it really entertaining and definitely something different, so I would say definitely give this one a read. And if you're looking for books in the young adult department that have to do with music, this is another one that came out this year called Merch Girl, and this is by Rebecca Lewis. And this is about 17-year-old Lacey, and she really is into music and into this band, and she ends up going to this concert with her friend. They end up somehow getting backstage, befriending some of the band members, and they go on like as roadies. But the reason it's called Merch Girl is they sell the band's merchandise. So it's also about being on the road with a band and all the different things that she goes through. So that's another one if you would like that type of book. And the last one is this new one that we just got called Now and Forever by Susan Colasanti. And this one is Sterling and her boyfriend's Ethan, and all of a sudden he's in a rock band, he's a guitarist, he gets discovered, and their band becomes an overnight sensation, and she is catapulted along with him because she's his girlfriend, she's on the red carpet, she's got people comping her designer clothes and all this stuff because she's the guy in the band's girlfriend. But, how does that change the dynamic of their relationship, that suddenly now he's super popular and well-known and famous, and how does she feel about just being the girlfriend? And so there's that whole dynamic also about musicians and so forth. So 3 books dealing with kind of the same genre of music and so forth. Okay, you're up.
Yeah.
Karen's a little slow today.
Yes, I am. I would blame it on the weekend, but that's not my problem.
Or like the week.
Or yeah, more like the weekend. What is it? Just Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, my first book is out of the children's department, and we have it here at the Danville Library, and it's called Froggy Plays Soccer. And the reason why I picked this is because for many schools, I don't know if they do it by boys, girls, but like where my daughter's going, it's soccer season right now. And I know we have a summer league going on that starts in the summer, but still kind of goes all the way until like October. So I thought that I would do a book on soccer. And it's kind of related to football because in certain places it is called football.
Yeah.
So kind of like the same. Anyway, and it's written by Jonathan London, I believe is his name. Yes. And which he does a lot of books about Froggy. Froggy in different circumstances and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, this is Froggy. And his team, called the Dream Team, is getting ready to play in the City Cup. And they have this chant that they want all the players to remember, and it's called head it, boot it, knee it, shoot it, but don't use your hands, because kids always have to be reminded in soccer you don't use your hands. Okay, well, Froggy, as you start reading the story, you can tell when he's out there on the field, he's just not into the game. He's picking daisies, he's just doing cartwheels, he's doing whatever he wants to. But somehow the ball is always landing on his head, or he accidentally kicks it when he's doing his cartwheels or something like that. So he plays defense really well. Well, his team scores, and so now they are ahead 1-0. Well, now the opposing team is going down towards the goalie. The goalie on Froggy's team comes out of the box, and Froggy says, oh my gosh, there's nobody there, and they're getting ready to score. So Froggy decides to go in and be goalie. But Froggy does the no. He catches the ball with his hands. Now the other team gets a penalty kick. Now the score is tied. And there's 1 minute to go, and there's still plenty of game left, and you'll have to read to find out how the soccer game ends. Very, very cute. And I think it goes to show that even though kids, they say they want to play a sport, they don't always understand. Yeah, they don't always understand the sport. And I'm here to tell you, this happened with our son when he went to play baseball. He was 8 years old. And I mean, they had him out, like, I think in center field, and he is looking at the clouds. He's looking back at us. He is looking at everything but the game. And then he wanted to quit, and long and behold, we said, just give it one more try. You never know. And here it is. He got a scholarship to play baseball at a college. So, you just never know. Just because a kid says that he doesn't want to play doesn't mean necessarily they don't want to. They just maybe take a while to understand the game, or maybe just to get into it. But I also think I think all parents should encourage kids to play sports just for the fact of learning how to play as a team, make friends, which I think is a very important thing.
And if not sports, some other organization.
Or something,
yes. Whether it's something.
Just to give the kid a sense of belonging to something.
Right, whether it's band or theater or I don't know, there's other things out there, but something as a group. Right.
And also I think you should listen to what your kid says. Don't put them in something you want them to be in. Listen to what they say. If they don't like soccer, maybe they want to play baseball or basketball, or like you said, band, debate club, whatever. Just get them to try something.
Something, right.
Yes. Do you go on? Okay.
Go ahead and do your next book.
My juvenile?
Yeah.
My juvenile book is Sammy Keys and the Hotel Thief, written by Wendelin Van Draanen.
I don't know.
Anyway, this is the first book in a whole series of the Sammy Keys, and she just wrote the last one. Came out January of this year, and it's called Sammy Keys and the Kiss Goodbye. And to go back to this one, this is the one that I read. Sammy Keys has a mom, but her mom, as she refers to as Lady Lana.
So Sammy's a girl.
Sammy's a girl.
Okay.
And her mom thinks that, in this first book, her mom is thinking that she's going to make it big in the movies. And so she just pretty well has just left Sammy Keys to live with her grandma. However, there's a problem. Her grandma lives in a senior citizen housing complex that does not allow kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Sammy has to sneak in. Sammy goes to school during the day, and then what she will do when she spends the night there, if anybody comes to the apartment, she hides in the closet but doesn't leave any of her clothes out, can't leave
That's
anything
horrible.
out, yes, to show that she lives there. Because if the landlady finds out, not only will she kick Sammy out, but she'll kick the grandma out
Right.
too.
That's horrible.
Yes,
though.
it is. It is horrible. But she's, is okay with it, and she really has no choice.
Right.
So she makes the best of it. Well, one day Sammy is at her grandma's house or at her grandma's apartment, and she's just bored out of her mind. So she decides to get out these binoculars, which she does quite often. And her grandma has always warned her, one of these days, these binoculars are going to get you in trouble. Well, this particular day it does. Sammy is looking out at a hotel across the street, and she focuses on this room, and she sees this man enter the room dressed in all black, and she notices that he picks up a purse, and she sees him rummaging through it. He's dressed in all black. He's got a mask on. He's got black gloves. Well, she knows what he's doing. He's a thief. And Sammy watches the whole thing. Well, when the guy goes to leave, he looks across, and he sees Sammy looking at him through the binoculars. So what does Sammy do? She waves at him. And then she's thinking, you know what? That's probably the stupidest thing. So now Sammy's like, oh my, what am I going to do now?
He really knows she saw him now.
Yes, and so she doesn't want to tell her grandma. So she thinks, well, you know what? Maybe it's got going to be a no big deal. Well, she goes downstairs, and all of a sudden, yes, the police have come. And Sammy thinks, you know what? I'm not going to get involved. I'm just going to walk by this hotel and pretend I don't even know what's going on. But her what do I want to say? Her curiosity gets the best of her, and she walks into the hotel and kind of inserts herself now into the investigation. One thing leads to another, and the next thing you know, the landlady has kind of caught on to Sammy living in her grandma's apartment. So she sets out to what do I want to say? Catch Sammy in the act of coming back up the fire escape to get back into her grandma's apartment, and sure enough, she catches her. Next thing you know, there's a letter, a note posted on the landlord and the landlady's apartment saying, "I know who you are." She thinks Sammy has written it because she's caught on to Sammy. It's actually the thief, but he thinks that he had her apartment, but he actually got the landlady's apartment. So now Sammy feels, I've got to find this guy before he hurts this landlady. And you'll have to read it to find out who it is.
That sounds good.
Yeah, they're very cute, and I'm sure a lot of them are like this. And the way the last one ends, I kind of read a little ahead, is that Sammy, it's all about Sammy finding these bad guys. She always gets involved in some of these crimes. In the end, the bad guy in the last book, the bad guy catches up with her. He knocks her out of her grandma's 4th-story apartment. She's in the hospital. Will Sammy be able to say who it was? That's what the last book is all about. And that's Sammy's farewell, or her farewell to doing these Sammy Keys books.
Well, that's kind of going to go into what my book was about, but much darker. Mine is also a mystery, but mine is a murder mystery. So, and it's a lot darker than that. And this is The Deadly Sister by Elliot Schreffer. And this one, I was not prepared for the ending. It wasn't until I'd said the last chapter that I started thinking, whoa, wait a minute. Something's not adding up here. But I still didn't understand it as much till the end. I was totally blown away. So if you like one, maybe it was just me. Maybe I didn't figure it out, but usually I do. I was not anticipating this. This is about 2 sisters, Abby and Maya. Abby's the older sister, and she's the good girl. She gets along with everyone, good grades. Maya's her younger sister. Maya's the wild child. She likes to do drugs. She's promiscuous, and she takes off for days and doesn't come back. Her parents have tried everything to control her. When she was little, Abby used to protect Maya, and she would make cover-up stories for her and everything so she wouldn't get in trouble. As she got older, that got old. She got tired of being blamed for things that Maya did, and their relationship faltered because of Abby basically growing up and saying, I don't want to do this anymore. It starts off in the very beginning. Abby is going on a jog down by the river by their house, and she discovers a body. And it's actually one of her classmates, and is also her sister's boyfriend. But not really her boyfriend. He has a public girlfriend. Maya is his private girlfriend, if you get my drift.
No, I don't.
He's sleeping around with Maya on the sly. Some people know, some don't, but he has a popular, presentable girlfriend for the public eye. He's real popular, the jock,
Well, but how do people know about the other one then if she's a private one?
just a couple. One being Abby,
Uh-huh.
and a couple of their close friends have figured out what's going on.
Okay.
He has a history of this. He has done this to a lot of girls. He's very nice looking, he's very charismatic, and he likes to mess around, let's put it that way. Well, Abby kind of freaks out when she sees him, realizes he's dead, and what does she find in the mud by his body? Her sister's phone.
So wait a minute, it's this guy that's dead?
Yes.
The guy that's doing multiple girls?
Yes.
Oh, so he's the dead one.
Yeah,
Okay.
and her sister's phone is in the mud next to him. She recognizes the pink Hello Kitty.
And her sister's the private
Yes.
girlfriend? Okay.
And her sister hasn't been home in a couple days either. But Abby had ran into her the night before and told her that she had overheard, can't think of what his name was. I can't think of what his name was, but the boy, that she had heard him talking about going out to this river and meeting a different girl. So she told
Besides
Maya.
the public and
Besides
the
the public one. There's
Oh,
a third
okay.
girl on the
Okay.
side. And Maya was furious and went to find him. So now she's thinking, holy crap, she's killed. What, I've got to help her. I've got to get her out of here. So she's looking for her sister, trying to find her. She takes the phone. She hides it. So there's no evidence. She then finds her sister and finds out that her sister had actually taken his car. Her sister has no recollection of any of this. She's high as a kite, says she knows she didn't kill him. She doesn't remember taking the car. She swears she didn't do it. And Abby's like, you're here. The car is outside. You obviously took it. So and then they go and look in the car, and her sister's sweatshirt's in the back. They take the sweatshirt out. It's about her trying to help her sister get away with this. Her sister swears she didn't do it, but Abby thinks she did it.
Right. Okay.
Her sister swears she didn't. Well, then Abby gets to thinking, maybe she didn't. Maybe, he's had all these other girls on the side and a girlfriend. Maybe there's more to it. When she starts digging, she finds out there was a lot of people involved in a lot of things and surrounding the circumstances that you wouldn't have guessed. And the more she digs, the deeper it gets, the more she finds out. And the ending is not what you're going to think it is, I'll tell you that. So, really good if you like a good murder mystery. And if you like some others, there's this one. Now, we do not have this one in our library. It is called Leave Her Hanging by Harry St. John.
That looks good.
And this is about Ella. And Ella has been found hanging in a noose. And the cops say it's suicide. And her boyfriend says it's not suicide. There's no way. And he's going to find out who did this to her. And that's what this story is about. And supposedly he's, out bent on revenge.
Who's been out on revenge?
Her boyfriend.
Oh.
And he starts uncovering a lot of things about a lot of people.
He's out to avenge her death?
Yeah.
Okay.
To get revenge on the person who did it.
Right. Okay.
So there's this one. Then another one, this is fairly new, is Premeditated by Jocelyn McQueen.
Looks good too.
And this is about Dinah, and her cousin Claire cut her wrist and killed herself. And Claire finds the diary of, I should say, Dinah finds Claire's diary explaining what happened.
I'm confused here.
Okay.
Who's dead?
Claire.
Claire.
Dinah's cousin.
Is this Dinah we're seeing?
I would assume. I
Okay.
don't know. It doesn't really tell you who's on the cover. But anyway, Dinah then, about 5 days later, finds Claire's
Her cousin's diary. Okay.
And it tells the reason why she killed herself.
So
and
she did kill herself.
Yes. And
Okay.
it has to do with a guy and something horrible that he's done to her. So she decides it's revenge time. This guy's going to wish he wasn't alive when I get done with him. So she's on the lookout for this guy, and she's going to make him pay.
Are these teenagers?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. She changes her appearance and everything.
Really?
Yeah. She dyes her hair.
That's my kind of book.
Yeah. She's got a plan. She had really dark hair, and she had piercings. She takes them out, dyes her hair blonde, so I would assume this is her.
Right.
And she's going to go after this guy.
Mm.
So those are my picks this week. We've got music and we've got murder mystery, revenge sort of books. So, okay, on to you.
Not really too key about the music ones, but those murder mysteries are my kind.
Getting revenge.
Yeah. Who hasn't? When you are in high school and you have that breakup, or you find out that he's, left you for somebody else, who hasn't wanted to get?
Oh, sure. And some of us have.
Give them a little taste of the pain that they caused.
Yep.
Even though I would never do that, but.
Oh, no, never. Not Karen. No, never.
No. Anyway, still the number one movie, which I did last week, is The Other Woman, which is about this woman's...
Getting revenge?
Yes, getting revenge, yes. Which is this woman's husband is cheating with her, and then they find out there's even a third one, and how they plot to get revenge on him for his cheating ways to teach him. We'll teach you to cheat on us. So since I already did this one, I went to the number 2 movie that's out right now, and that is Draft Day, which I absolutely loved. And you don't even have to be a football fan.
My husband wants to see it.
Oh,
yeah.
I love this movie. It got like a 6.8 out of 10. I would give it a higher rating. It has to do with Kevin Costner. He is this fictional character. This is fictional all over. It's nothing based on a true person or anything like that. His name is Sonny Weaver. And his dad used to be the coach of the Cleveland Browns, and he has passed away. Well, Sammy Jr. is the general manager, and he's the one that's in charge of putting the team together for the season.
Sammy or Sonny?
Sonny, sorry.
Anyway.
Sonny, I can't keep track. Reading too many, watching too many. Anyway, and because the Cleveland Browns didn't do well last season, he, of course, gets the number 1 draft pick. And so the way the movie starts is it shows you 12 hours before draft pick, before the draft day. And he gets a call from the Seattle Seahawks, who have a number 1 quarterback that they are putting up on the block. Or
right.
I'm not really sure how draft day really works. Anyway, and in exchange for giving him this quarterback, they want his next 3 consecutive number 1 picks. And Sammy's like, or Sonny is like, I don't know. He goes ahead and makes the deal. But later on, you find out the Seattle Seahawks had a reason for that.
They knew something about
this.
They
knew something about this guy, this quarterback.
Oh, yes.
And sure enough, there's a lot of people involved with draft day. The coach is involved. There's a lot of people who do a lot of research on all the players. There's agents. And yes, Sonny is getting a lot of calls from these guys who want to play for the Browns that their dad played for, and so on and so on. They want to keep it a family tradition. But here he's passed them all up to get this number 1 quarterback. But Sonny finds a way to get back and what do I want to say? Make the Cleveland Browns better than just getting the number 1 draft pick that they were originally going to get. It's a very, very good movie. Very good movie. I highly recommend watching it. Especially, like I said, you don't have to be a football fan, but if you are, it involves the Cleveland Browns, the Seattle Seahawks, and the Buffalo Bills.
My husband's big into draft day. You know that.
Yes.
He literally plans his vacation around draft day.
Well, and
it lasts like 3 days. I mean,
yes,
yeah, and he is ready. That's his thing
and
to sit there and
it even goes into once the draft starts. There's even still deals going on while
definitely.
The draft pick is making because
sure.
They'll get ready to announce it. And what it is, you get put on the clock when it's your turn to make a pick. You have 10 minutes to make your pick.
And I've seen people lose their picks because they took too long.
Because they took too long.
Yep.
Yes,
doesn't happen very often, but it has happened.
Yes, and sometimes it's deliberate.
Yeah.
You think that, oh my gosh, how could they do that? They had a plan. It's not always what it seems.
Right. And then you see the poor guys sitting in the green room.
Yes.
And they're waiting and waiting
and the way they had it in here is these people aren't necessarily in the green room. The players are actually out on the floor watching the whole process go down. Some are at home.
But they usually take the ones that they think are going to go in the first round, and they sequester them in a room and all this, but that doesn't always happen.
Right, right. And, you had it where the owner of a team was just getting ready to walk out with a T-shirt to give him. Now he's lost that person. And it's a very, very good game. It kind of gives you...
Movie.
So many things going through my brain right now.
She had names wrong, and it's just.
I know. And I forget even what my train of thought was. But you know, draft day is big in the actual NFL. But it's amazing to me how big fantasy football has gotten, and they have a draft day for that now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, it is.
Huge, absolutely huge. It's just amazing to me how a sport can sometimes just take a life of its own. And I know football's always been big, but it seems to me and maybe it's just
football big is here in the States. That's not true in other countries.
That could be true. That could be true.
In a lot of countries, it's soccer.
Right. But it seems to be between the sports of baseball and football, it seems football has always been a little bit above. A lot more emphasis has been put on it. It seems like there's a lot more attention paid to the draft day. I don't see a lot of people concerned about draft day when it comes to baseball.
Not even basketball either.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, football is, it just seems like it's a life of its own.
You even have the football where you have the, what is that? It's right around the Super Bowl where they go to Hawaii and they have
Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowl, yeah, and that's a huge deal. And
Yes, and I mean, it's even extended to the college level. It seems to be college level football has really taken on a huge. Well, I guess that's a prequel to draft day of the NFL. So I guess a lot of and it kind of hits on the Heisman Trophy kind of like atmosphere and all that. It's just a very, very good movie. I can't believe. With as many guys as there are, I can't believe that got such a low rating. Unless they think it's so watered down.
Right, maybe.
As to, the draft day itself. I don't know. But for me as a woman, I thought it was good. And I'm not putting women down. There's a lot of women that are very knowledgeable in football. I'm not saying that. Just for me, it was good. Okay. Nothing's changed since last week. They're all still holding their own. Number 1 radio song is Sammy Keys. Stay with her.
Okay, it is not Sammy Keys. Sammy Keys is the detective.
Oh my gosh, it's not my day.
Sam Smith.
Thank you. Name of the album, In the Lonely Hour. And I did find out that it is in our system. We don't have it, and it is on Hoopla.
Okay.
It is on Hoopla. Top Country, Burning It Down with Jason Aldean. Album Burning It Down. We don't have it. It is in our system. Not on Hoopla.
Okay.
Iggy is on Hoopla, but she's not anywhere in this countdown. But I did want to let you know that
She's
Fancy
is on Hoopla.
The new classic, I think, was the name of the album. I should know. I did it for like 10 times or whatever. It is on Hoopla, and so is just in case you're wondering, Ariana Grande is on there too, with her new song "Bang Bang" and I forget what other song.
There's another one,
Freedom. What was it? Born Free? No.
Not
Break It. Break Out.
Breaking Free.
Breaking Free.
I think
that's on there. Top Pop. Charlie XCX with Boom Clap, which is off the soundtrack of Fault with Our Stars.
I really like this song.
It's okay. It's catchy.
I really like it. Yeah.
It's catchy. I just don't like the video. Maybe that's why it's kind of.
The video is just parts of the movie.
Yeah, but it's her doing a bunch of dancing around.
Yeah, and a lot of clips from the movie.
Right. And then of course, top hip hop, Nicki Minaj with Anaconda. So, music wise, nothing's changed. I'm ready for a new radio song. I have heard the country and the Sam Smith on the radio. I haven't heard the other two on the radio yet, but I did finally hear Burning It Down on the radio.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that wraps mine up.
Okay.
And thank goodness, because I was getting everybody confused.
Yeah. Karen needs a nap.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's our picks this week for books, movies, and music, and we will see you back next week.